Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining me today. I'm going to be dehydrating some peaches this morning in the kitchen, and then I'm going to make some homemade granola. Hope everyone's having a blessed day. Let's get started. I went to the Dollar Tree and I found this really exciting 1-pound can of peaches for $1. Now these in the grocery store are about $2.50. And they are delicious. So I bought about 7 or 8 cans, and I'm going to dehydrate those on my dehydrator sheets. And it's such an easy process because these peaches are ready to dehydrate just right out of the can. There's no peeling, there's no soaking in lemon juice or citric acid like you would fresh peaches. I just poured off the syrup, rinsed them in the can, and then you just slice and put right on the dehydrator tray. How easy is that? And for only $1, I just couldn't resist. I'm going to fill my dehydrator up and have some delicious peach candy, because that's exactly what it tastes like after it's dehydrated. So I'm just slicing the halves up into thinner slices. Not too thin, about 1/4 inch thickness, and I'm placing these on the dehydrated. Now I've kind of patted the peaches dry after rinsing them, and it's so much easier to cut them up on a paper towel because they're very, very slippery. But these were very nice peaches. Each can had about 3 whole peaches in it. So I highly recommend you head over to your Dollar Tree and see if you can find them. I also picked up some cans of pineapple at the Dollar Tree. I got pineapple tidbits, which you don't have to do anything to except just drain and lay them out on the dehydrator tray. The pineapple rings, I would have had to slice those up, but I just did 2 cans of pineapple tidbits, and those too are also delicious once they've been dehydrated. The flavors are just so good when you dehydrate fruit. Now I do not have good luck with dehydrating bananas. They're just not my favorite texture once they've been dehydrated, but these peaches and this pineapple is delicious, and it will be great in a trail mix and my homemade granola. So I loaded up 6 trays, and then I did 2 trays of pineapple. So I filled up my dehydrator. I set it at 135 for 16 hours. And I have it over on my counter, and it just lightly hums all day and through the night. Now when you put on your Excalibur tray, make sure the bottom is nice and snug, because if there's a gap, it will not dehydrate correctly. So 16 hours later, I pull out my sheets, and they're nice and dehydrated. They're a little bit flexible, a little bit sticky, but they are so delicious. This is the best candy. There's no artificial ingredients, no extra sugar, just nice dehydrated peaches, and they peel off this tray very easily. Now some I keep in a bowl on the counter for when the grandkids come by, and the rest I've put in Ziploc bags. I plan on using probably most of all of this for eating right away, but you could long-term storage those in a vacuum sealed jar or bag. So these are easy to come off the tray, and then we're going to get busy making some granola with them. My grandkids love to come over to Mimi's house, and I'm so excited for them to try this because it is so good. You can also do fruit roll-ups. I could run the peaches through my food processor, and I have a plastic sheet that goes over this tray, and you just pour the juice over the plastic sheet and dehydrate it, and then you've got fruit roll-ups. That's something else I could try next time I go to the Dollar Tree and pick up some of these peaches. You can do that with strawberries. You can do blueberry fruit roll-ups. but you need that solid sheet to go over this plastic sheet on your dehydrator tray. See how nice and translucent these are? So let's make some granola. You can make it so many different ways. You can use pecans, walnuts, peanuts. I've got my pineapple dehydrated, my peaches. I've got some cranberries in the back, craisins. I've got the banana chips I picked up at Aldi's yesterday, some maple syrup. You need oats, old-fashioned oats, vanilla, cinnamon, brown sugar, butter, and a little bit of salt. So the first step is to take our oats and mix it in with the spices and the syrup. I'll leave the ingredients below. And like I said, you can just make this so many different ways. You can use honey instead of maple syrup. There's just so many different ways to make granola. I love coconut, so I'm going to add a nice heaping cupful of coconut to mine. And when you bake the coconut and the pecans in this, oh, it just brings out the flavor and it's so delicious. So a big, nice heaping cup of coconut. If you don't like coconut, leave it out. That's fine. And I'm going to add in the rest of the ingredients. I had some pecans. I wanted to chop those up and use those up. These are whole, so I chopped them up into smaller pieces. And then we're going to add in our vanilla, the cinnamon. Oh, the cinnamon made its taste and smell so good. I'm going to add in a little, I think it was 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. I'm going to add in some melted butter, 1/3 cup of brown sugar, and 1/2 cup of maple syrup. And I picked up this bottle at Aldi's. Give that a nice stir. And then I've got my oven set at 300 degrees, preheating. But you're going to stir this and make sure everything is incorporated with the melted butter and the maple syrup. Then I have parchment paper on a big cookie sheet, and I just pour this out and spread it out. And we're going to bake it at 300 and stir it every 10 minutes. If you wanted to make a lot, you could double this recipe. This is just for me this week. So in the oven it goes. And then I set my timer, and every 10 minutes I gave it a nice stir so that all the oats cook evenly. And those pecans, when they're toasted in that oven, oh my goodness, they taste so good. There it is, ready to go. And now we're finished. I'm letting it cool. Then I'm going to add in all the fruit that I chopped up. Look at that, isn't that pretty? Oh, it's so good. I wish you could smell it. It's so delicious. And of course, granola can be used just like you would cereal. You can add milk. You can eat it cold or you can eat it hot. I found a nice container at Walmart that seals it airtight, and that's what you want to keep it from going stale. So I'm going to carefully take the granola and pour it into my bowl, and then I'm going to add in that fruit that you see over to the side. Now in my fruit bowl I've got some craisins. I've cut those peaches up in smaller bite-sized pieces, and I've got the pineapple, and I'm just going to toss that in. You could use raisins, you could use dates, you could use whatever fruit you like. I did put the banana chips. I kind of crushed those up a little bit into smaller pieces. And then you just give it a stir, and that's it. Store it in an airtight container. You can have this, like I said, with milk cold, or you could heat it up. You could eat it over yogurt as a snack, or you could just eat it just like this. It's so delicious. So I'm going to pour this into this nice container that I found at Walmart. I think it's Better Homes and Gardens brand. looks so pretty in the clear container. I do have plenty of glass jars, but I really wanted something that was airtight, and this one has a rubber seal around the edge, so it will keep it nice and tight. And just leave this on the counter to have every morning. Hey, if you make homemade granola, please share your recipe in the comment below, because this stuff is so expensive in the grocery store, but if you make it on your own, it's really cheap. Big $2 box of oats makes a lot of granola. I just shake it down, get all that goodness in there, and then put on my lid and close it shut. Look how pretty that is. And I can tell you it is delicious. I had me some snack right after I made it. I pulled out some yogurt and put it on top. Oh, it was so good. Nice, healthy granola. Much cheaper than the grocery store granola. You just take a spoonful, sprinkle it over your yogurt. And you know, sometimes yogurt needs a little help. It's a little sour, and this sweetens it right up. There's the pretty dehydrated peaches that the grandkids can have for snack, and here is my breakfast. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you give this granola recipe a try. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you have a very blessed day.